But while my loved ones was fighting a continuous war back in the city, I was entering a new one. A war that was based on apartheid and discrimination.
We, the jury, find George Zimmerman not guilty. So say we all foreperson.
On July 13, 2013, Trayvon Martin's killer was acquitted. Trayvon was a 17-year-old African-American boy who had been shot and killed by George Zimmerman, a neighborhood watch volunteer. With all eyes on the case, Zimmerman's freedom enraged the nation, and specifically those who created the movement Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter has 3 co-founders. It began with Alicia Garza, who wrote a letter grieving the death of Trayvon Martin and the acquittal of George Zimmerman, ending it with, "Black people, I love you, I love us, we matter, our lives matter." Patrisse Cullors saw that letter on Facebook and came up with the hashtag Black Lives Matter, and Opal Tometi joined them. All 3 activists used social media to make a moment of anger and sadness a movement of hope and empowerment.
Black Lives Matter campaigns against the injustices, violence, and racism towards African Americans. They speak up for victims like Michael Brown. And for Alton Sterling. And also for Philando Castile. Unfortunately, the list of victims can go on, and this is why the Black Lives Matter movement exists. But still, there are many who disagree with the movement. There are some who believe that all lives matter, and others that simply don't have an opinion on it. So we decided to go out and look for Black Lives Matter supporters and ask them why they support the movement.
I do support Black Lives Matter.
Why?
Because I think that although all lives do matter, there's been a history of silencing and oppression and systematic abuse towards the Black community and the Latin American community. And I think that their representation needs to be heard.
I think the Black Lives Matter movement is a very needed and a very important movement within our society. It's a movement that, wants to gain equality for all. And it does this by kind of shedding the light on the tragedies and the indifferences between how blacks and whites are treated.
I want to live a good life, and some of the things that Black people go through are just not fair, and that's what Black Lives Matter is. They're still in 2017 fighting for equality. So I do support Black Lives Matter.
I appreciate it, I respect it, I understand it. It brings a race together for unity, stands together, power in numbers. It shows that we can stand up for the injustice and police brutality that we go through, that we've been going through.
Just like the average person, celebrities also have their opinions on Black Lives Matter. Many use their money and platforms to support the movement. For example, The Weeknd donated $250,000 to Black Lives Matter. Jay-Z also raised $1.5 million and donated some to the movement also. Then there are others who simply just use their voice and social media to express their support for Black Lives Matter.
Like LeBron James, who took to Twitter with the hashtags Alton Sterling, Philando Castile, and Black Lives Matter. Jesse Williams, who gave a speech not for his award, but to speak of the injustices African Americans face.
Yesterday would have been young Tamir Rice's 14th birthday. So I don't want to hear any more about how far we've come when paid public servants can pull a drive-by on a 12-year-old playing alone in a park in broad daylight, killing him on television, and then going home to make a sandwich.
There are also artists like Jay-Z, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, Lauryn Hill, and many more who wrote songs dedicating them to the victims of police brutality. The Black Lives Matter movement has grown tremendously over the years because of people using their voice to stand up for what they believe in. The first Black Lives Matter protest happened in Ferguson in 2013. Now it has grown to have 40 chapters from Toronto to Los Angeles, California. All this has happened with the help of social media and people using their platform for the cause. Black Lives Matter went from simply being a hashtag to being a movement that spreads all across the nation.
All we want to do is break the chains off, man. All we want to do is be free. All we want to do is be free.